We have a lot of listeners and viewers that are just starting to think about real estate as a possible investment. Chris, why real estate?
It's always a great question because I think, you have to understand what your goals are, I think, before you make a decision on what you're going to invest in. The one thing I like about real estate is over the long term, at least in our neck of the woods, it continually does well for you. So we're not big fans of speculative real estate buying, which speculative is defined more as a short-term gain, a flip, or looking for short-term returns. We're more of the long-term philosophy in investing, which
That's why we all get along here,
exactly.
Right?
Well, we're also all real estate investors.
Yeah, right.
So we have a lot of common ground.
For sure.
And if you look at as Simos just mentioned, if you look at our real estate here in the GTA over the long term, you know that the returns are healthy. And the beauty of it, and he indicated they're using all factors around real estate. Real estate's an interesting asset class because you can actually get safe leverage, which I would call safe leverage. And everybody, that means something a little different for everybody, and it depends on their scenario. And I know you guys go through a full actual workout of what's proper for each client. Mm-hmm. If you figure out what your safe level of leverage is, you can have the most incredible results in real estate in our marketplace because we're growing. We're a world-class city. Without being a gambler and without speculating on hope and maybe and this and that, and taking the long-term view.
If you look at it over 25 years, we talk a lot about actually pulling out equity and refinancing and thinking big. I'm all about thinking big, getting 10, 15, 30, 100 properties. I had somebody here in the studio a couple of months ago who's at his 500th door. Great. If you just buy one, though, and in 20 to 25, even if you amortize it over to 30 years, it's paid off. Even if you don't refinance it, you have an equity you have an asset that's at least every 10 years, it's safe to say prices double. I mean, we've seen it a lot quicker.
Call it 20.
Call it 20. So you buy something, 20. You buy a condo today, one bedroom, $500,000 that gets rented for you. In 20 years, it's going to be worth $1 million.
Yep.
Not bad.
And it's paid for, right?
And it's paid off.
By the
it doesn't matter what
the tenant.
So if you put 100 and a quarter down, or whatever, 20%
closing
down,
costs,
closing
yeah,
costs,
sure.
whatever you call it. So think about that for a second, what you just said. You put $125,000 down, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And in 20 years from now, and yeah, some people say, oh, that's a long time. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing next week. Well, life is going to happen, right? So no matter what you invest in, you're going to have time on your side. So over the next 20 years, that $125,000 investment goes to $1 million. And the cool thing is you still own it.
Yes.
And it's still producing a cash flow for you every single month.
So I'm about to hit the big 40 next year. I'm 39 years old. Let's wind this back to 29 when me and you were fighting side by side, fighting for every listing, fighting for every transaction, fighting to build our business. Mm-hmm. We've been so blessed by the good universe to be healthy and be the people that we are, to work hard and have the opportunity of this wonderful city. Mm-hmm. I think what's made the difference now, fast forward 10 years, because we're in a very different position than we were. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying this lightly.
Yep.
The only reason for that is I don't care if you make 100 or 200 or 500 grand a year in your business, whatever your business may be. Mm-hmm. After tax, it's 50%.
Sure.
After you adjust to your lifestyle accordingly as you grow and your business grows and your expenses grow.
Yeah. You're left with 25 cents on the dollar, if that.
Most people are at 10 cents on the dollar in most businesses.
Yep.
And again, no matter what you're left with, even if you're very happy with it, would I be in the fiscal position, the financial position that I am today, if I didn't sell the Toronto house back then for a small profit, buy the Oakville house back then, 2007 we're talking about now, right at the financial collapse of the United States. The market took a freeze for 3-4 months even here. There was an opportunity where the builder threw in the kitchen sink literally. Because they were scared.
Right.
They're like, well, they don't know what's going to happen. So I bought a house for $500,000 then. When I was 29 years old, I was buying a house worth $500,000. I was shitting bricks.
For sure.
I was like, am I just taking a mortgage right now for $400,000? I did. I sold that house, my friend. You know, the listeners don't know.
Yeah.
I sold that home for $988,000 for a $488,000 net profit on my primary residence, which allowed me. So I sold $1 million.
And that was on a
house.
5-year period. Six-year period.
Years.
Yeah.
6 years. But that home, call it $1 million home.
Yep.
To me was not.
Yep.
To me, that was a $500,000 home on a 36-foot lot in a beautiful subdivision in Oakville.
Yep.
But with that profit, I actually built my dream home.
Yeah.
Real estate
Afforded that.
afforded that. I'm sorry, when we're talking about a $500,000 of net dollars,
Yeah.
which is my true story, not sharing it or sugarcoating it.
Yep.
That's all I ever wanted. That is a lottery ticket.
For sure.
The market gave me that money. I didn't work for that money.
Yep.
For me to save a $500,000 to save
Yep.
after tax dollars, you know exactly
Minimum.
how long it would take because we know what we produce.
And here's the thing with that, right? It happened in 6 years. Chris and I are trying to, and we were talking about 20 years. If you can have that patience that we talk about so much, and,
And
not
the
that,
insight.
not the
That's the
instant,
key.
And the insight.
right? And and
Patience is
not
number
have
one.
that instant gratification. Because we all like it when you post something on Facebook or Instagram and you get that instant grat. The real estate, you can't play like that. It needs to be long term.
Over time, if you acquire this real estate and it's a cash flowing real estate, you're not speculating. You're just, to your point, Simeon, is you're just putting it away quietly. It's paying for itself, and you get that paid off. You have that recurring income forever. So yes, it's exciting to say, oh, I've got $1 million in real estate. Well, that is very exciting and a great goal to have. But what's even more exciting is that you've got a consistent cash flow from that, even at 4%, forever. So $1 million, 4%, it's an extra $40,000 a year on top of maybe whatever else you've invested in or your current income that you're generating that is just going to be a bonus. It takes time, and your intent, Simeon, wasn't to go out and make $500,000 bucks, right?
Not at all.
Your intent was, I need somewhere to live. I need somewhere to
My
raise.
intent was to please my wife.
Yeah.
You got it back.
Yeah, exactly. To raise my family, right? And look at the incredible benefit that it created. Now, you did all the right things. First of all, you saved the down payment, right?
The original one, yes.
The original one. You did all the right stuff to go along with that and made right real estate decisions on location and timing and all those sorts of things, which, you guys are experts at. But ultimately, it gives you a window into what the opportunity of real estate is. And then you take it back to our discussion about the fact that if you just look at that 4% return over time.
And the 4% annual appreciation over time.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
it.
half,
We're not
which
even.
is half the truth.
We don't even have to talk about that.
Let's pretend there is no appreciation even, right?
Let's
Even
talk
go to
about
the other end.
Yeah, let's talk about zero appreciation.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Just
about
from
the
a
fact
cash flow.
that you buy a piece of real estate, you use a little bit of low risk leverage, right? Because I do not want you to ever think that you need to put yourself up to here,
Trying to keep up with the Joneses
or whatever.
In Brampton, they know we call it keeping up with the sayings.
Fabulous.
Yeah, you got to make sure that.
Hey, you said it.
Yeah,
And
I can say it.
and that's important.
Right.
And then you just think about over time what that's going to do for you. And you say, yeah, we came up with that discussion on 4%. If you think about this, and let's use $400,000 condo as an example, just so I can use easy math.
Yep.
$400,000 and you put 25% down, so it's $100,000 down, right? So that's $100,000, and in 20 years we said it's going to double, right? Using 3.5% a year as your number. Let's take that. So you've taken a $100,000 investment, which is a $400,000 condo, doubles over 20 years. So now it's worth $800,000, right? So let's forget about the ongoing cash flow forever. Let's just look at that first $100,000 is now $800,000, because in that time frame, the tenant has paid off your mortgage. So to me, simple math says I've taken 100,000, right, which is like and boil it down to dollars, right? So I've taken $1 and I've turned it into $8. I've taken 100,000 and turned it into 800,000. So $1 I've turned into $8. And I'm not even going to deal with the cash flow component at a 3.5% growth rate. That's pretty cool.
If my teachers taught me right, I made
so
$7.
$1, $1 I've turned into $8 over the next 20 years. And nothing's guaranteed in life. Absolutely.
And that's you not taking a risk, not being an entrepreneur. That's you working wherever you're working, doing what you're doing, living in a home or renting it out.
Yes.
You turned $8 into $8.
Yeah.